Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the RedBull Esports Championship 2013, or the ECL. Of course, I am Luminous. I'm joined by Merlini, and it is after dark. Or it seems like it because the lights are turned off, okay? And AC is still not fixed. It is still hot, but we got a fan now.
A true
So
fan.
I
I retweeted your tweet.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty funny.
Good tweet. Good tweet.
That's next level.
So actually, before we get into today's series, let's quickly jump into our bracket. Yesterday we had 4 best of 3, and we had 4 teams that were going home. And the IG versus the Rising Star. Rising Star did knock out IG. IG play horribly, for lack of a better term.
Not good.
Not good. Orange Esports did take out Rattlestick. That was not really close in a series matchup. LG China versus Tongfu. I thought that series was pretty close in terms of skill level, but LG China was able to 2-1 eventually. And I didn't cast Vichy versus DK, but I heard it was a 2-0, kind of one-sided victory in favor of DK as well.
Yeah, Vichy Gaming just didn't really have their bearings together that game. Much like IG, I don't know. It just didn't seem like they clicked.
Okay.
But we have 4 remaining teams left. Looks like it will be Rising Stars versus Orange and LGD China versus DK. And then after that, we'll have our finals for the RedBull ECL Season 2 playoffs.
So for your semi-final matchup, it's going to be best of 3 situations. And then for the very grand final, it's going to be a best of 5. And of course, the winner of this tournament is going to get $20,000 US. And more important,
that's the total prize pool.
total prize pool. I think number 1 gets 1,600 or some.
50,000, something like that.
According to Team Liquid, 16,300 around give and take, and then the second place gets only 3,000. So that's kind of a big drop off. More importantly, if you do win the entire tournament, you are getting yourself a slot in the kind of year-end big ECL tournament, where I'm sure there's a lot more prize money. But let's actually go into the heroes I picked for Orange Esports versus Rising Star. Anything that jumps out for you? I guess the 13 Wisp pick.
Yeah, they use a Wisp. That's actually a little bit unusual, but I mean, for the earlier games in the RedBull ECL, we've seen a lot of teams use Wisp. I saw Rattlesnake use it. I saw Rising Stars. And I think one other team used it. Maybe it was DK. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump into the draft. And Rising Stars. So I would definitely put them as like a huge underdog compared to IG. 3-1, 4-1, perhaps even 5-1 or underdogs. And they outperform my expectations. But the last time I saw them play was at the TI3 Eastern Qualifiers, and I believe they've had some roster changes since then.
LD just turned off the fan, so I just like refuse to cast now. Dude, it's gonna get so
Well, we
hot.
can take our shirts off while we're not actually on camera, right?
Why don't we take our shirts off on camera? Is that against Twitch TV policies?
I don't know.
I don't
Unless
think
if
so.
you have man boobies, maybe, possibly.
But let's actually look into the heroes. Rising Star, actually pretty tanky heroes. Already picked up Lifestealer, Dragonite, and Enchantress. I think Enchantress is deceptively tanky as a support. You get a single point of that untouchable, and she gets a little bit hard to touch. On the other side here, Alchemist, Shadow Demon, really kind of hard to kill lineup, and also really offensive at the same time as well.
Yeah, my mic is getting
Mic's
a
not
little
working.
bit funky. But OD banned yet again by Rising Stars in the first stage too.
Yeah, it seems like they're quite afraid. I think OD, you were pointing out that IG was using it, and I think against Orange Esports is a fairly smart ban, so Mushi used the hero quite well. But whether it's actually worth the hero pickup, I'm not too sure. We are going to see Sand King being picked up here for Orange Esports. Immediate counter pick from Rising Star, it's going to take up a Rubik. I think Rubik against Sand King is generally where you want to be at. Taking that Sandstorm, or more importantly, Burrow Strike, is pretty good.
Yeah, and we also see the Wisp ban out from Orange, so maybe they were paying attention yesterday. Rising Stars was one of the few teams that used the Wisp yesterday, so glad they've done their homework. Bat, very standard ban. Visage, almost always picked, I think, in the Eastern scene as like the first pick, just because he works so well in the triple lane. He's not the best roamer, but his utility as a support is unrivaled.
I actually don't like how most Chinese teams are picking up Visage really early. It's just like they're blindly picking Visage, and I feel like you could... He's only good if you do like offensive trialing, or if you know you have a trialing versus trialing situation. A lot of teams first pick Visage and they end up like pulling and jungling with it, which it works, but it's not where it's most powerful.
What would you prefer as like a more solid first pick then? It's just like one or the 3 of the triple lane. You can still build a lineup around him. He's good defensively. He's not the greatest in the defensive tri lane, but he can punish an aggressive triple lane from the enemy, and he's good in aggressive triple lane. Most of the time, he is relegated to the safe lane as the pooler/farmer, but he does decently with levels. Those familiars are pretty darn good.
I mean, for example, I would first pick a Lifestealer, an Alchemist, Shadow Demon over.
Oh yeah,
Visage.
I agree with you there.
Dark
for sure.
Seer, Wisp, like all of these heroes are a lot more first pickable, but Visage seems to be relegated to that one.
There's the Razor from Orange. You excited?
10 seconds remaining.
Not excited because the fan just got turned off again. But yeah, Razor is going to be the fourth pickup here for
5 seconds
for
remaining.
Orange Esport. And what we saw out of Razor is, no, it's like when the fan comes in her.
It makes too much noise.
What about like in the doorway?
I can do that.
Yeah,
Doesn't do anything.
that's what it was yesterday, dude. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Razor most likely picked against Lifestealer. It's also decent versus Dragon Knight too, just because Dragon Knight just tends to run in the middle of everybody, tank all the spells, and Dragon Tail the crap out of people.
Yeah, not only that, you got to keep in mind that the static remnant, no, the unstable current. Unstable Current is actually a fairly impressive spell against all of the Rising Stars lineup because they're mostly single targeted. Enchant, she gets slowed.
So
Lift,
what-
she gets easily gets slowed.
They picked Razor fourth. Do you think they could have picked a fifth, or are they just waiting for a more flex pick so that they can punish whatever Rising Stars picks as their fifth pick?
I like picking up fourth here. I think yesterday I made a point about sometimes you want to pick it up fifth, and that's mostly against a one core lineup, or so far when they have only one core picked up. Now Rising Star already has dual core. There's no reason to actually delay it further. I think by picking up fourth, you can see what the full Rising Star lineup is and decide to go where do you want to go offensive tri lane. Because Shadow Demon Sanking Razor is a fine offensive tri lane. You can put your Alchemist on your one row and then pick up your solo mid. If the offensive tri lane situation is not available, then you can put defensive tri lane SD Alchemist Sanking and put Razor solo mid.
So are they actually going to do Razor versus Lifestealer, or are they going to try and do Alchemist solo mid and triple lane with a Razor? I think more likely than not they'll try and play a Razor versus Lifestealer because
I think it depends on what their last pickup here. So now with the Queen of Pain pickup, I don't think you do Razor solo mid anymore. It's the link is not going to be that effective. So they're going to probably pick up a solo mid that does okay against against Queen of Pain in this case. And now I think you can go offensive trialing with this particular lineup and put an Alchemist in a 1v1 situation on the long lane. Rising Stars seems to be abandoning the long lane in the past because we've seen jungle Queen of Pain. Remember that one?
oh yeah,
We saw Lifestealer jungling it up with boots first in the jungle as well. So
Jungle
seems-
Queen of Pain.
and jungle
Next
Lifestealer
level.
boots first. So whoever Orange Esport, if they're paying attention to the games that Rising Star played yesterday, they should be able to figure out kind of what's going on. And if Alchemist is doing Max Groovel's read build on the safe lane against nobody, uh-oh.
We're up, bro. That's
So-
a Treant Protector last pick.
Are we doing farming Sand King?
I think it's just to protect the Razor, just so the Razor can go balls to the wall on the Lifestealer. Sometimes you actually
No,
like
no,
static.
but who's farming here? Farming
Oh,
Sand King, right?
We've
We've definitely seen in the past that Mushi plays solo mid Sand King, especially against Magnus, against like Dragon Knight, these solo mid melee heroes. Cosmic Finale owns these melee heroes very easily, and I expect him to do that right now.
So
here.
who's the solo mid player for Rising Stars?
Generally Air.
Okay, well, if Air goes mid, I think that Sanky will have a pretty easy time. Razor could have a very easy time, but I think their triple lane won't do too well versus a Lifestealer unless the Razor's in it. We have seen Treant Protector solo off lane before, too. I think I've seen EG run it before and
Yeah.
a couple other teams. It's not the best, but
10 seconds.
maybe with the nerf it's a little bit less effective, but still, you still have your living armor. He still stays alive for the most part. If he gets under-leveled, whatever. It's just a tree.
So it seems like we have some interesting hero selection here, unless they're going to do a little bit of swapping. No swapping just yet here. It's going to be Ohio, generally the offlane player, going to be playing the Treant Protector, so maybe we're going to see a little bit more farming-oriented one. Extinct's going to be playing your Sand King, which is completely standard as a support Sand King. We have Net handling the Shadow Demon, ky.xy, generally the one-row player for the team, handling the Alchemist, and last but not least, we're going to see a solo mid-Razor. I thought solo mid-Razor was not going to be a thing here because there is a Queen of Pain, but obviously Queen of Pain is not going to be playing solo mid. If you look at the Queen of Pain's build, I think he's going to be going for jungle. This is the exact same jungle build that we saw yesterday out of Quap.
And on the side of Rising Stars, on the Dire side, we have Super on the Enchantress, Air on the Dragon Knight, XDD on the Rubik, XTT perhaps on the Jungle Queen of Pain, and last but not least, we have Xiao Tuji on the Lifestealer. They're 5-manning top, trying to take control of their own jungle so that Enchantress can get a few creeps. No Observer Wards placed. We actually
No,
see
they
one
got
over
one,
here.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they have one over there, but looks like
30
both
seconds
teams'
to
triple
go.
lanes will be in the safe lane. I think this gives the edge to Orange just because Alchemist is the best safe lane farmer in the game currently.
I mean, I'm not sure how Tree's going to fare in a 1v2 situation, 1v3 situation against Lifestealer and against Rubik, they're not going to do a very good job in terms of burning away those living armor charges. So he should be okay in terms of skirting in and out of the experience range, even maybe harassing Rubik a little bit. With, of course, Enchantress in the jungle, she's not going to be able to do too much in terms of at least keeping the Trine out of lane early. But what she can do maybe is setting up a couple kills a little bit later on after she gets a couple of big creeps.
And Net is the Rune champion. Usually it's on the Standing King, but this time on the Shadow Team, picking up a haste, running around, and they scouted Queen of Pain over here, so I think they know that it's not going to be there's only going to be one hero max in the bottom lane, and it looks like it's actually going to be 0 for them.
Yeah, so again, no surprise here. I think the first time we were seeing it, I was completely surprised, but she's going to be blinking into this path and then farming away. You generally don't AFK farm, which we do see some pub players do, but what you basically do is get up to maybe level 2 or level 3, and then you just start ganking with Shadow Strike, which somewhat strange, and to be honest, I don't think it will be effective this game because you have living armor on one side. You're ganking heroes like Razor, who's pretty fast with the point into unstable current.
And he has a poor man shield to start off with.
Wow, range poor man shield, very interesting. And on the other side you have Alchemist. So I just don't think this ganking Queen of Pain is going to be effective. But Rising Star was very effective with it yesterday, and now with Tornado coming in, maybe that's going to change things up.
And we see an early Quelling Blade on the Alchemist going for a full-out farming build, and this is definitely what he should do. He has level 1 Greevil's Greed. I fully expect a level 2 Greevil's Greed at level 3. There's no reason not for him to play Greedy. We see Net stand over here. I'm not exactly sure why he's standing here, just because they have a Reserve Reward over here. They know that they can see any of RisingStars heroes come, and I would maybe prefer to see him just double pull this camp so that they can get a little bit more experience, stack a little bit more. But right now he's just taking a little bit of ky.xy's experience. Got to maximize that farm on that Alchemist.
I think maybe he's actually purposely giving Extinct the experience. Maybe just giving him that level 3. Sand King needing level is a pretty common theme. As you guys know, Burrow Strike gets more and more cast range as you level up. So maybe that's the mindset behind that one. Of course, ky.xy is going to get a ton of experience, so stealing 1 or 2 creep from him, not exactly the biggest deal. How are we doing in terms of mid lane here? We expect Air to be getting out lane, and if you check at the CS, it's going to be 8-3 Dragonite, not falling too far behind with 5-0. And of course, once he starts getting more level of that Flame Breath, yeah, he's going to catch up a little bit easier with the Flame Breath spam.
That Razor just has to be so annoying though as a melee hero. Oh my goodness. Well, we see Super have a smoke on him along with the Jungle Queen of Bane. Looks like they're team jungling over here, and they probably can get a smoke gank going, but with a constant living armor on Mushi in mid, I'm not exactly sure if they are going to actually be able to kill him. Yeah,
me on top of Xiaoqi, she's trying to go for the kill here, but Ohio going into Invismo. Well, that level 2 Nature's Guide. Generally, we don't see Nature's Guide till much later. For going the Leech Seed
here's the
taking
smoke.
early.
RisingStars, 3 of them with a Centaur. Things are looking very bad for Mushi. He's already at about half HP due to this Wildkin, and looks like it may be a First Blood if executed properly.
Well, how are they going to actually get close here? Maybe going to initiate with
the Blink Shadow Strike,
Blink Shadow Strike, as well as Enchant. Enchant does have a fairly long cast range. It's like 600
Yeah, it's on cooldown for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Though. If Mushi doesn't use his flask here, he very well may be dead.
But look at the Radiant wards. There is one ward on top of this cliff. I think they won't see it coming. So this is generally a ward that you see from a lot of Southern East Asian team. MUFC does it all the time. Zenith does it all the time. Orange does it all the time. They just understand that the smoke gank from these teams are very common and frequent on the mid lane. And generally when these Southern East Asian team play their mid, they put things like Tinker. They put things like, for example, now OD. It's very easy to pick off, and they should see the smoke coming. They are paying the hell out of mid lane right now, as these guys are running over that particular sentry spot.
Yeah, and Mushi just getting Livy armor. I think he plopped his flask, but not getting all of HP out of it. And RisingStar just wasting a fair amount of time. Let's see if Mushi blocks this wave.
Mushi
and
knows,
XDD
right?
coming from behind.
He should have known here. The net's going to come through. Blink Strike Strike forward here, and they're going to try and get to that Centaur Stomp. They won't get it off. It is a 4-man gank, and they won't get first blood out of this. This is very reminiscent of what we saw out of yesterday. RisingStar making the exact same 4-man gank against, I believe, IG solo mid Ferrari. And they're going to now try to push off of this. I don't think they're going to get a tier 1 tower or anything like that, but they will do a ton of damage. And anytime you get a ton of damage as a Dragonite on the mid lane, you're pretty happy, because once he gets level 6, that tower push is going to get a lot easier.
And I would like to see Mushi just stand on the right side just because they know that nobody's on bottom. So there's almost no possible way they're going to smoke from all the way around.
And again, he had a ward here, so it was
Right.
just really poor play on basically the entirety of Orange. Because if you're playing support, you definitely got to check that spot out and make sure that your Solomon is not getting ganked.
Well, a little bit unfortunate for him. Dragon Knight will pick up a DD rune. He's almost level 5, but Razor is actually 5.5. So Air's still losing in the experience war in middle. Mushi's still doing fairly well on CS, even though he has died once.
Yeah, I really like what Xiaotuji is doing on the top lane as well. He's constantly going in and out of that creep wave and making sure that Tree and Protector, even though he's getting some levels, he's not getting too much lasted, he's not getting too much farm. And you can see that he was almost even killing him earlier. You do not want this Tree and just sitting back, trading farm, getting living armor for the team. You want to make sure that he's spending some living armor himself and now on his allies. So very good job on Xiaotuji, applying pressure even as a one-role player.
So it looks like RisingStars is coming out decently ahead. I guess they have the free farming lifesteal up top, and they got the first blood on Mushi. But looking at the XP and gold graph, it looks like Orange is actually still in favor after the first blood, and I think that's really just has to do with the level 3 Greedle's greed on bottom. But Alchemist not going full greed items. He actually went for a power chest first. A lot of times we see Alchemist in this sort of absolute free farm in a safe lane with Max Greedle's greed. Just go full out greed with Battle Fury or Shadow Blade or Midas first. Those are the typical 3 greediest builds. But he is playing it a little bit safer. ky.xy tends to do that.
Yeah, ky.xy generally does not play like Burning or Havos, who just goes AFK farm mode. He likes to join his team and help them push or help them defend or help them fight. And now it looks like RisingStar is going to be mounting and push. Again, the exact same style we witnessed against IG yesterday. They just snowball completely out of control with their 4-man ganks and just push. They are going to get this tier 1 tower basically for free. I don't think Living Armor is going to do anything. Although he could pop one in conjunction with that glyph to get a little bit of HP back up on the tower. It wouldn't matter too much. This Alpha Wolf, oh, unfortunately died there, but they should be able to bring down this tower.
Ned is trying to spam out with a level 2 Shadow Poison. I actually like this build, the 1-0-2 build, if you think you're going to be anti-pushing early, which RisingStars has been grouping up 4 to get damage on tower middle, grouping us 4 early again to take the tower on top. I think this is a better build if you are level 3.
Ooh, Dragon Knight's even going to make that rotation. He's level 5. Doesn't even have the Elder form just yet. They are just putting a ton of pressure, and 5-man tower push right at, what, 5-6 minutes in the game, and they're going to just go. There's really nothing that Orange could do about it. They do have that level 2 poison like you talked about, and they have maybe a Burrow Strike, maybe Acid Spray, but they just don't have enough. And here comes Mushi, the rotation coming in. They're not going to get too much out of this RisingStar. They will back off and probably rotate back in the lane. XCT now teleporting bot.
Yeah, so they forced a rotation out of Mushi and out of Net, but Net was roaming around anyways, and Mushi has a very short time back to middle. I think that Orange came out ahead on that just because they didn't get too much damage on the tower. Glyph was already blown on the T1. So after the T1, I think maybe just staying a little bit too long. We see some like early push-oriented lineup just gather up way too early at early in the game as 5, and they lose out on a lot of experience, a lot of farm, and just gives a little bit too much to the other team while they don't push down towers fast enough. So
yeah, I liked our RisingStars. They tried to push. They saw Hero rotating, and they said, it's not going to work. We'll back out immediately. They didn't keep banging their head against the wall. I think maybe they could have tried longer if they had Dragon Form. They didn't have it, so they just back off. So no harm, no foul. They just drop a couple of teleports. You can see that XCD is just trying to set up a trap here for the Tree and Protector with a Sentry Ward and baiting the lift, but fortunately Tree is nowhere nearby.
Razor also has a buckler, so it looks like he will be going for that early mech build on Mushi.
What do you think about that? I personally think that's a really good build.
I think it's a great build.
Yeah, you go mech, maybe even into Acceptor or Yasha, depending what your team needs. And he's just so deceptively tanking with high movement speed, with the unstable current. And you don't need too much damage item because most of your damage is coming from Static Link and Idol Storm anyways. So I personally like that build quite a bit.
Yeah, and he just needs to be up in front.
Right.
Like he needs to be able to continue channeling his channeling. He just needs to be close enough range so it won't break. He needs to be up in front so that the Iron Storm can proc on those low heroes. And he actually doesn't have too much armor as an agility-based hero. He only has 5 armor at level 8, which is, I think, a little bit lower than some of the other ones.
Yeah, we do see actually a rotation coming on the bot lane as well. RisingStar smokes up behind the tower. You can see that XCD is carrying a payload inside of him in the form of a lifestealer. So we saw again this RisingStar is just playing the same playbook they had from yesterday, and it looks like we're gonna see a range form stun. There you go on Net, and he is so dead right now. Is anything else? No, none of the allies coming in to rescue. You see XCD still inside, but now Mushi TP's in. Mushi in big trouble. Is there invincibility? There is invincibility. Where is the Essential Ward? Essential Ward not being dropped. Living Armor's going to get dropped as well. Gotta focus out on Mushi. Mushi doing way too damage with his stun, with his damage, and more importantly, with a life link. And that Eye of Storm still going at it with doing minus armor. They're now trying to chase away on Air, but Air is still very healthy. Does have 4 charges on the Magic Wand. Flame Breath to turn around, but he is also going to go down. I think Rising Star had very, very poor focus fire. You got to drop every single spell on Mushi and bring him down quick.
They needed a Sentry Ward down earlier, and they didn't get a very high priority kill with the surprise initiation of the smoke. They got the level 3 Shadow Demon. He revives in such short amount of time and is able to TP back that. His death really didn't mean anything. It was probably the best possible situation for Orange.
If you're going to get initiated on, that's the person you want to get initiated on. So generally you don't see this spell too much. I don't play Razor too much myself, so I got to ask your advice and your expert opinion on this. Do you generally not max Plasma Field? That's your bread and butter nuke.
Oh, you max Plasma Field after Static Link. It really depends on how long you think the fights are going to go. Oftentimes 1 or 2 Static Link is enough, but if they have very aggressive melee heroes, for example, like Lifestealer, and you have ways to keep them in place, whether it be Leech Seed, whether it be Demonic Purge, whether it be Disruption, because Static Link still goes through Disruption, or Alchemist, Unstable Concoction. They have so many ways to keep the heroes in place that he does target with Static Link that I think it is worth it in this situation to get.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt the fact that he is actually laning against a melee hero on the mid lane, so the Link's going to be very effective. He's not going for a bottle build, so he doesn't have too much mana to spam away, which maybe that allows you to go a little bit more into in terms of Plasma Field. So
and he can run up in front too. If you're up in front, Plasma Field doesn't do as much damage, and with Living Armor, you can just go balls to the wall with Static Link. We see Shadow Blade already on top lane.
Wow, and looks like they're going to try to get a kill on Xiaotuji. If the stun flies up, the Link's going to come through. He already has Phase Boot available. Xiaotuji trying to run towards, away from everybody else. Yeah, he's going to go down. Phase Boot doing so much chasing. And Shadow Blade, again, this is ky.xy. A lot of players would just farm for another big item. ky.xy says, I have Shadow Blade. I'm setting up gank with my ally right now.
I wonder why he didn't actually just rage TP. I think he potentially could have survived. It would have been better than raging and running towards the opponent's T2 tower.
Maybe he was thinking he could juke into Infest. I thought he could Infest and maybe survive as well.
Yeah, possibly. I think, regardless, decent kill by ky.xy. I like how he is rotating. As soon as he gets his Tread Shadow Blade, looks like he's very close to seeing a stack. If he got that, that'd be pretty big. It's a 3-stack.
But, they'll back off right now. Rising Star with the early game rotation. They got a couple kills. They got a little bit of tower damage on some of these towers. Mushi on the mid lane just harassing. Maybe they could turn it around here, but they just don't have enough damage on Air. So even if Air got the stuns off, it wouldn't have mattered really.
Yeah, Mushi almost has that. Oh, he actually went Phase Boots after the early buckler. I generally see people go for the Phase Boots before the buckler, or Treads too. Treads is nice for the HP, but you do need mobility, especially when Lifestealer already has his Phase Boots, already has his drums completed.
Look at Razor's build here. He's gone for buckler, he's gone back to Phase, and now he's going for drums, I think, as a Bracer being picked up. So I think Mushi's going all over the place here.
The 1-1-1 build.
I guess that's the one I call it. That's not the first time that he's just gone for a casual buckler. What's your thought on that particular item choice?
I mean, it's decent, but he has Living Armor.
Right.
And he has Defensive Disruption as well as Overgrowth. There's a lot of things that can protect him if they go all out on him. And it's not too... the magic damage is irrelevant just because buckler, I mean, it just gives you a little bit of stats. But I think they have plenty of ways to help out Mushi if he just goes straight HP or just utility, maybe even an early Ghost Scepter if Lifestealer is causing him a lot of problems, or early drums just so he can move around the fight more. I think that would be better than going for this early buckler. But if he gets buckler, I would commit to a mech early.
I mean, if you think about it, the plus 2 the armor bonus for the rest of your allies when you activate it is pretty a big deal in terms of pushing or just mitigating the damage coming out from Feast as well as Ragnite. They're both
but you could just go Aquila, get a little bit more deeps.
Sure. Yeah, well, of course, this one upgrades into a mech a little bit later on. Yeah, I'm not too exactly sure what the logic behind this. Would really like to ask from Mushi's opinion, but looks like Rising Star smoke ganking in, sees Alchemist, but do they have detection? That's a question. They do have a pair of dust on Super.
Looks like Rising Stars, I think that's their 4th smoke this game. Third smoke maybe?
Third or fourth smoke here.
Yeah, they've been going very aggressively with it, but unable to find the Alchemist. That is the one big problem for Rising Stars. What are they going to do when Alchemist has a Treads, AC and Shadow Blade in like 20 minutes time.
Yeah, they got to be very careful about the initiation from the Alchemist as well. He's coming in from the left side. The team is smoked up. Got to keep in mind that there is a teleport squirrel on, of course, a Treant, so he could teleport in an Overgrowth. Mushi, he could be just Mambo up in the front. He's thinking about it, but not going to.
They have the ward. They see them all.
Yeah.
And looks like, I mean, this works out for Orange. Rising Stars wasting a lot of their time. They've only taken down one tower thus far. They used a glyph for the top one, but since then, just unable to get that much presence around the map like they're very early.
Oh, looks like they're going to try to make it go on the bot lane. They're going to stun Mushi. Mushi down to about half HP. Defensive disruption. Epicenter's going to try on the background. Who's Super in huge trouble. Super is going to go down to the Epicenter charges. That's one extra kill. Mushi still very much so alive. He's got the living armor, and he's going on the chase. I just want to say this Rising Star playing style of making 4-man smoke gang, getting a kill, and getting tower damage simply does not work against a living armor Treant. Also, the fact that trying to kill Mushi early is also very difficult when you have things like defensive disruption, when you have things like burrow strike, as well as living armor to protect him. Of course, Mushi already a naturally tanky thanks to his 4-man shield, bracer, buckler, and magic wand build. Just getting every kind of small defensive item possible. Mushi now going forward, threatening and zoning everybody out. Tier 1 tower is going to be dead for sure. I think here comes the take build from a Queen of Pain. They're going to try to defend it and deny that particular tower. Deny attempt, and you can see Mushi trying his best to get that last hit. Nice tower deny, but a 2-man stun, and that's one kill. The second kill is going to go on XCT quite easily. Overgrowth is going to come through as well, and everybody's on the run. Air is going to drop a payload inside. Infest is infested on air. He's going to be on the run super slow. It looks like he wants to actually fight this under the tower. The stun's going to come through from ky.xy. They're waiting for the Rager right now. Where's the stun? Where's the stun? ky.xy stuns himself, but Xiaojuji is still in huge trouble as Mushi looking for the kill, chasing up over on the high ground. This is going to get one kill. Looking for the second, trying to face. He's not going to get the fade. Back and forth he goes, and oh my god, Mushi's so damn low. Can they actually get any TPs?
They have a TP from XCD.
XCD trying to get the lift. No, he does not get the lift.
Wow.
Wow, I think he may have lifted him in base or something. We definitely seen the, how the fuck did Net go over there? Did he just walked in?
Wow, yeah, I mean, he did get the telekinesis off.
Yeah.
Look at the cooldown, 5 seconds. How did that happen?
I don't know, man, but that was a...
Dota 2, man.
That was a long distance lift.
Dota 2.
I mean, we're seeing the power of a Razor that has no damage at all. That's just purely tank ability, and it's like you said, if your Razor could walk in face to face and start just zone people out, there's really nothing people do about it. You can see that he's just dropping that saddling casually and going for the easy kills.
Yeah, Xiaojuji just unable to do much. What can he do? He can try and, like, I don't know, run away, but then your team's forces turn tail, and he has like big bad Razor in your face, and then you have to worry about the Alchemist too. It's just these team fights are not going well for Rising Stars. They killed Razor once in the early game, but since then he hasn't died. He's picked up 5 kills in the process. He has his mech up. He has defensive disruption that we saw him save at the get saved by on the T1 on bottom. We see him constantly living armored. They just really don't have solutions to deal with the stacked Razor as well as the Alchemist.
So why do you think that Razor isn't picked up more? I mean, this particular game, we're seeing how powerful this hero actually is. Provided you have the correct lineup, and provided you're against the correct lineup, you're kind of in OP, right?
Yeah, firstly, he's good versus Lifestealer. Lifestealer's kind of dropped off a little bit, so Razor not as like, oh my gosh, we need to pick Razor if they have a Lifestealer, just because Lifestealer isn't as big of a problem anymore. And they do have the Shadow Demon. They do have the Treant Protector. Not only do they have those two to have a lot of defensive cooldowns that they can use to save them, but they also have the Alchemist that can just draw a lot of fire. So if Alchemist is in front with his chemical rage and just whacking away at people, you can't just ignore an Alchemist who had free farm for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he's already popping his ultimate, now going on a tower. There's a nice lift on top of him. He's going to throw him back and maybe stun him under tower as well. ky.xy, down to about quarter HP. There's a mech being used as well.
Like, look at that. Look how tanky ky.xy is. He's almost at full HP just after one mech. He got stunned at the tower and telekinesis back towards them.
Yeah, they're going to try to burn those living armor charges with the 2 illusions. Air's going to get stunned up. Tier 1 tower under really low here. And Mushi, again, zoning people away with the saddling link. But I do believe Rising Star may have successfully defended this one. This tower did suffer a ton of damage, so maybe ky.xy in a little bit of trouble as its ultimate did run out. Rising Star successfully defended, but they're taking a ton of damage. Acid Spray wearing
They
them
don't have
down.
a sentry there either.
Yeah, they did,
Oh.
but they got dewarded. So Xiaojuji is going to rage dodge it. He does. They will back off, but
Yeah,
I think
they
this
don't have
tower
a
is going to
glyph.
go down. Yeah, Dragon Knight's ultimate is out very, very soon, and they got to successfully fight this right now. Low gift available, like you said. Burrow Strike on the wings being weighted at extinct. Okay, you lift him up. Where's the stun to follow up? They are going to stun. No, there's no stun just yet. Double damage comes out from Dragon Knight, but he has to run here. Where's the stun from Air? He now stuns Mushi, but his double damage gets purged off because of the unstable current. AoE gets dropped out here. Defensive disrupt comes up, and here's us a 3-man overgrowth. Xiaotuji, huge trouble. He's now infested into a creep. He blows back out. Everybody on Rising Star is low, but the chase, they're actually going to go for the chase. Going for the Extinct. Extinct, couple more hit away from death. No doubt here on the Sandstorm. They also kill Alchemist. Mushi now getting focused by 3 or 4 members, and they're going to try to red pick him down, but his ultimate is going to kill one. Ultimate now working on Super. Super's dropping quite low as well. Mushi's just man-mulling him as nobody actually has any damage. He finally dies, but the nuke is going to take down a couple of guys. You can see that Razor on his dying breath still do a ton of damage, but Rising Star has somehow withstand the, I guess, the sustained focus of Orange Esport, and they were able to win a big team fight.
Nice infest by the Lifestealer to try
Yes.
and get that static link off, and I think the defensive disruption came a little bit too late. All the damage had already gone into the Razor, and he could have gotten a few more seconds off of the of his static link had that not happened. So this is a little bit of a sloppy fight, and they were in a rather unfavorable position, fighting that close T2, and then having to retreat down the cliff.
So Jungle Quap into Arcane Quap into Mech Quap. This is so next level.
This support Queen of Pain. That is
Support Queen
pretty
of Pain
next
with
level.
nukes, right? I mean, why the hell not? It's just an AoE machine, a chaser. Not
That is a
exactly-
new role.
Yeah.
New role for her.
Yeah. Central Ward gets dropped here. Unfortunately, no lift against that particular Sand King. Yeah, also really, Xiaotuji, like you said, he was able to infest and immediately got focus off of him, and suddenly the tide battle completely turned. Also, I think one thing that you have to keep in mind when you run things like Shadow Demon and Treant Protector, and to a certain extent Razor, you really lack damage. Rising Star was able to stay with 3 or 4 heroes about 40% health and still team fight.
Epi.
Yeah, they need Epi to do a ton of work. They need Alchemist to do a ton of work, and so far they're not really doing it. And that push, maybe they are somewhat overconfident. And now with the mech being back up on Rising Star, maybe they could start taking the fights a little bit more aggressively.
And Mushi looks like he's going for a Scepter. Not sure if he's going to complete Drums in the process. I think it would be pretty good. Alchemist Farms has certainly slowed down a lot after dying twice already.
So yeah, where do you think Rising Star is going to go here? Are they going to decide to farm a little bit more? I'm not sure whether they can actually push against the Living Armor Treant. You can see that the mid tower is now almost back to full HP. So
I don't think it's a good idea from push. I think it's a great idea for them to just react based on what Orange is doing. Just put one spammer mid, whether it's Rubik or Queen of Pain or somebody else, just to fend off any sort of T1 push from Orange. And if Orange does decide to play aggressively, they can just defend and just try and play it like they did the last fight. No reason to think that they can't take another team fight after winning the last one.
yeah, I mean, I think reacting is a good call, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of time to do it because there is an Alchemist that's farming away somewhere on the map. They don't see him just now, but Alchemist is in the jungle now, going away, finding a huge themselves a stack. And Alchemist is by far the most late game hero on the map, so that is something to be concerned of. And I think Rising Star, because of that, maybe needs to smoke gank a little bit more aggressively, find the Alchemist, maybe find a kill on Mushi. But Mushi, look at how aggressively he's playing on the mid lane. He's now gone for a point booster. Acceptor is going to be his choice, and Acceptor not only good for winning team fights, not only giving him a ton of mana and HP to work with, also will do damage against building with his Iron Storm, so we'll be pushing a little bit more effectively with his team.
And that is the AC completed on the Alchemist. He's 1-2, but he's still just fighting so much farm after getting that easy
Look
time
at
on
this
bottom
net
lane.
worth. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, this hero is absurd.
Yeah.
There's a smoke.
Well, it's going to be Orange Esport that's looking for the aggressive play. Let's see if Enchantress get out there. XTD, maybe he got seen walking into Roshan pit. Extinct, though, does seem Burrow Strike's going to fly through here. And XTD got to pop that mech. No mech being used here by XTD. Probably not the best idea to use mech to save a particular support. And now looks like they're going to go up here to zone a couple people out. Dragon, I think, comes back in with the haste screen. He's going to focus on ky.xy, but he does have the living armor. Now these supports are coming in from the south. Back and forth they go. Back and forth they're going to go for some kill. Invisibility is going to take it as well. Orange staying as a group, and well, they're going to find perhaps Dragonite. Dragonite, no sun being tossed in ky.xy. In a little bit of trouble right now. He still has the living armor. Man, these guys are playing with some next level guerrilla tactics because nobody actually getting focused. Nobody's actually died, but the actually purge on air, and Mirror getting all of his damage being drained. He's going to be dead for sure. If you don't get that meg off, where's the meg? No meg just yet. Overgrowth is going to be used. Ohio gets lifted up. He's going to go down. Xiaotuji doing all sorts of damage. Going to focus on Extinct. Extinct's also going to go down. Second person, third person is going to go down. It's ky.xy. Stolen Overgrowth. Uses the Overgrowth, and that's another third kill. Dragonite buys back. He's back in the mid fight here, and they're definitely going to get this tier 1 tower. Rising Star, really good mobility, really good positioning. They were dancing in that river 3 or 4 times. The XCD to me, he's the X factor, being able to steal Overgrowth, winning that team fight for his team.
And this arcane mech, Queen of Pain, is actually doing a ton of work. She
Yeah.
just blinks it after initiate, heals people, just drop to AoE, and Orange is forced to turn tail and run. I think they probably need a BKB on the Razor. That's probably one of the biggest things that they need, just so he can survive, steal all the damage from the Lifestealer or the Dragon Knight. And Dragon Knight buying back, again, they're picking fights like so close to the T1. They desperately want this tower, but they're always picking fights over here, and this is the unfavorable position. As soon as you get jumped on, you're forced down the hill, and you're already at a
You lose vision.
disadvantage, right?
Yeah, you're on the run. You don't see them.
Yep.
He was able to drop off a really good link
Wow,
against
3
Dragon Knight.
towers for Orange.
Well, they traded for Roshan, but Bushi in bigger trouble right now as he somehow gets caught. Well, Living Armor's going to come through the Burrow Strike and Overgrowth being all used, but anything XTD could do, XTD is quite low. XTD in trouble as well. You can see all the focus going on Mushi, and Mushi says, I could turn around and kill all of you guys right now. Air's on the run. He's now going to get purged, and now the team fight is going to go really poorly for Rising Star. Air dies this time. He doesn't have buyback, and the full Rising Star team goes back on the retreat. Mushi's on the chase. XCD, oh my god, he's going to be able to TP out just barely though. But yeah, despite having Aegis up available on Rising Star, they just lost in a very poor team fight where they caught Mushi out 5v1. And Mushi not only survived, he was able to turn around and get a couple kills.
Power of Razor
And Living Armor, and Disrupt, and a mech.
and Overgrowth.
Yeah.
These Overgrowths are pretty darn good. Although he did give it to the Rubik once, it is usually pretty timely. Normally when Lifestealer is in range or someone is taking a lot of focus fire, usually the Razor is doing a good job of interrupting the pace of Rising Stars during the team fight.
I actually think that Razor doesn't need to go for the BKB. I think you want him to stand in front line and start tanking some spells because he's probably by far their best tank, even though Alchemist has that Assault Curious. Like, you want that Razor to basically tank away with that unstable current, drop a ton of purges, drop a ton of links, and he, you know, all the heal is going onto him, so just let him tank. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. Lifestealer has his armor completed, and with Roshan down, Dyer's already taken down 2 towers. Looks like it may settle into a bit more passive of a game.
Yeah, I think in more of a passive form, again, you look towards Alchemist, be able to take this game away in the ultra late game, already have the AC finished, so maybe looking towards a BKB, maybe looking towards a heart. All of these late game item choices are quite good. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Dragon Knight, you have Lifestealer. These are not exactly ultra late game carries. They can be, but I don't think they're gonna deal with the start they have. Your Lifestealer is 4-2 and 4, which is not exactly too good. Meanwhile, Air is 5-3 and 4, but he's also bought back 1. So I'm not liking Rising Star's chances if it goes late enough, but it looks like they're going to focus on Mushi. But everybody, can you burst him down? That's the question. He gets lifted, and, well, again, the focus goes on him. He will die. I think there is no defensive disruption. The team a little bit too far away. Overgrowth is going to be used right now. Defensive disrupt went on the Alchemist, so he's not doing any damage. Really poor fight for ky.xy and the rest of his team. 2 dead, and they're looking for him a little bit more. And Lifestealer is on the chase. Open Wound's going to be used. Net is also going to go down. Mushi, this time being caught too far away from his team.
Well,
and
these
this time he
defensive
will play.
disrupts.
Yeah.
I think that they could have just ran away, but he was just kind of trapped there during the Overgrowth, and that really set up the kill on him.
Yeah, I think, to me, I think Mushi is both winning and losing the game for the team. When he barely survives and is able to draw a ton of spells onto him, they win those team fights. But if he doesn't barely survive, like if he dies, then the team fight just is so lopsided. That Rising Star is not only going to get a tier 1, they're even going to get a tier 2, and now perhaps even a Rax off of it. 7 seconds as well as 15 seconds for the carries respectively come back.
And they really do need a Blink Dagger on the Sand King, but he's constantly forced to fight, constantly forced to counter initiate, and he is at 0, 3, and 5. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, I think a lot of things can turn around for Orange, especially if they can stun the Epi stun the Lifestealer before he rages, or go on the Dragon Knight before he pops his BKB. But it's all pretty situational. He's still quite a bit of ways.
He's a 1700 gold. He's going to skip his Arcane Boots, which I think is a very good choice. Although I think he wants level 11 as well. That's because right now level 1 Epicenter is not going to do anything against a mech on Queen of Pain. I can't believe I'm saying that. A mech on Queen of Pain. But hey, Queen of Pain, XCD playing quite well. XCD also playing quite well. And also, again, XCT could be your support initiator for your Lifestealer, but for now,
There's
Rising
a
Stars,
smoke from Rising Stars.
yeah, they want to defend. They want to backstab that tier 1 tower from behind. Let's see if the Radiant team is aware and prepared for it. Extinct is invis up thanks to Nature Skies. Only level 1, so not going to last too long. Tier 1 tower, big trouble up top here. And looks like they're going to initiate on ky.xy, so I really don't think you can make that kill. Where's the channel? Extinct, nothing just yet. The link is going to get broken as Mushi chases them away. He's tower under focus. Of course, the Acceptor does focus on the tower. Air's thinking about making go. The Sun's going to come through. Epicenter's going to get channel. Overgrowth's going to get used as well. A ton of AoE damage to Mecha strong here. XCD got to drop his ultimate. Where's your Sonic Waves? Still 10 seconds on the cooldown here. ky.xy down to about half HP. XCD out of mana at this point already. Mushi doing all the right click, not doing too much damage. His ultimate not doing too much damage because there's creeps nearby in the team fight as well. And now they're on the run. Super is going to eat a nuke to the face. Where's the Lifestealer inside? He's not running. Now it will pop out. And I think the damage rate now goes on to XCD. He's also on the run. And Mushi's so fast with the phase dude. One more hit is going to get the kill on XCD. But no, ultimate comes on. Defensive disrupt, not doing a single damn thing. Living armor is going to regen him back to full HP. A good team fight for Orange Esports. Very, very hectic. It seems like they will destroy tier 1 off of it.
Yeah, not bad of a fight for them at all. And yeah, pretty good execution by them. Nice overgrowth. And Mushi staying alive during these fights is really, really important.
Yeah.
When he gets picked off first like he did on the top lane right around where the T1 used to be, it was just set them up for failure. They took a lot of damage on the T3 because of that. And if Mushi can stay alive, then it's pretty good. It looks like X-Stick was one of the first heroes to die, but he had already gotten off his Epicenter. He had already gotten off his Burst Strike, so not a big loss for them. They need to try and move their other heroes up in the front so they can tank for the Razor, let him do his thing, let him drain the damage, get those items stolen for the minus armor stacking, let him just survive, annoy people with unstable current, get him multiple static fields. I think Mushi and Alchemist are the significant sources of damage in this fight until Sand King gets his Blink Dagger. Looks like it might already be up.
He has it right now. It's being challenged him. I mean, to me, the Extinct was the X factor in that fight because he got off a good Epicenter without even needing the Blink. Now that he has a Blink, the team fight's going to get a lot more difficult. Sure, there are BKB availables on the Rising Stars side, but not your entire team is able to get magic immunity. So Enchantress, Rubik, as well as Queen of Pain to a certain extent is going to be in big trouble once that Epicenter hit. Let's not forget about the chasing power that Sand King gives you. Once you get that Blink Dagger. If you get a Blink and 2-man Burrow Strike off in the team fight, generally you win those team fights. So Rising Star not looking in good shape. They will have the Roshan advantage. Roshan is back in about, I want to say, 4 minutes or so. So another smoke being used. Rising Star is just really maybe depending and maybe over-depending on these smokes. Let's see what they're going to get out of this one. They need to pick off Mushi ASAP, or maybe just pick off Net first and then roam towards Mushi. They see Mushi now, and they're going to make everything. They're going to drop every single damn thing, toss him back, and then they do get a quick kill, and suddenly the rest of your team is in huge trouble.
Really that bad?
Yeah, and Mushi getting caught out yet again. They don't have any vision out on the map. Your alarm has to be going off in your head when 5 people are missing, and Net gets picked off too. It looks like this should probably be an easy T1 for them, but they're going to have to backdoor just because the creep wave is almost at Rising Stars T2.
Backdoor, there's no backdoor protection on the tier 1 tower, so not exactly the biggest deal, and Rising Star will take this one quite easily. Dragon and I will get the last hit on that one. But yeah, Mushi getting picked off. I think Mushi might be starting to consider getting, yeah, he is going to be going for a BKB. I thought he was going to get something like a Ghost Scepter because there's so much physical damage, but BKB, I guess, a safer choice.
Yeah, Dragon's Tail is just so annoying to deal with. He just stands there, and without Shadow Demon always there to disrupt him, even if he were, I don't think he's having the greatest disrupts. He can't rely on that anymore. Just get BKB and just dodge a lot of the magic damage, survive the fights, drain that damage, and do your thing, Mushi.
Yeah, well, Mushi, I could use the chat with while casting. I didn't know that. Okay, my bad, guys.
You can use the chat wheel?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
get back. Okay.
Well played. Oh,
Well
mine
played.
is actually bound to net worth.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Xiao Tuji and the rest of the team deciding to start sieging tier 2. I think right now Xiao Tuji should just look to get some farm. He's fairly close to Abyssal. If he can get Abyssal and then the Aegis on top, then the team fight goes quite well for them. That adds another disable for the team. One that goes through BKB. So when Mushi depends on his magical immunity to get him out of trouble, that's not going to work out that well for him. So I think they should farm for it and then just basically ward up and secure Roshan and make sure that, you know, keep it passive until the Roche fight happens.
And Alchemist has a BKB too. His item progression was starting off so well at the start. He had maybe like a 4-minute treads, a very early Shadow Blade, I think like maybe like 11-minute Shadow Blade, and then a 20-minute AC, and then it's taken him another 12 minutes to farm a Black King Bard. That just shows you how poorly these fights have been going for Orange.
Yeah, he's been leading in terms of 4,000 in net worth a while back, and you should really have bigger and bigger lead if you're Alchemist, and Lifestealer being able to really catch up with the net worth. And I think it's because of ky.xy's playstyle. They don't like to AFK farm. They like to group up as a team, push tier 1 towers as a team, do everything as a team. And as a result, he's not really taking advantage of that Greevil Squeed. Now the entire team is rotating forward. They do see XCD, but they also see Lifestealer, but I don't think they're going to get anything done here. They will. Oh, Burrow Strike going to get dodged. Really well played. And now Extinct's going to get lifted. We're going to see Burrow Strike be used as well. Toss him back. Living Armor's there. They get defensive disrupt. Ohio thinking about walking in and dropping that ultimate. Sonic Wave going to get dropped as well. Extinct just really great defensive uses of the spells, and he will survive. Great play.
Big plays indeed. Nice offensive disruption by Net there to save him, and they nullified the BKB, the 10-second BKB on the Dragon Knight. So that's a pretty good team fight for them. If they take one right now, I think that the Sankey could dominate with the Epicenter. Oh, actually.
Yeah, he's going to drop Epicenter right now. Aaron, huge trouble. Does he have buyback? That's the question. He does have buyback. Force that backwards right now. ky.xy BKB is used to purge on Ghost on top. Lifestealer getting a ton of his damage brain, but it looks like Rubik has got one kill on the Sanking. Why is Orange initiating so aggressively? Xiao Chuji running forward with no damage. Yeah, why do you think Orange is so aggressively fighting the enemy tier 2 tower? Because we saw Sanking Burrow striking in before. Now the Epicenter gets Shano and going in, but they're not getting anything done because
I
these
think
guys
it's
are
okay.
so tanky.
I think they need a ward over here just to check out the positioning from Rising Stars. If they see Lifestealer alone, then yeah, maybe sure they can go. But he like Burrow strike into the tower. He only got one person with a Dragon Knight. Sure, he didn't have his BKB out, but that is not the sort of Epicenter, especially with a level 2 Epicenter like that. Initiate on against Rising Stars. Yeah,
I think if you want to use Epicenter, you use it on everybody, and mostly the damage, it goes to the Enchantress, it goes to the Rubik, and make sure that they're tanking up. Because generally, if you're trying to kill Lifestealer and Dragon Knight with your Epicenter, you're doing it wrong. You really will need to rely on the rest of your teammate doing so. Aegis will now go to Lifestealer. Oh, looks like they're going to focus on Net. Net's going to get follow-up initiated. Worse than the initiation, they are actually going to try to burst him down, but they want Mushi more. No, they want Ohio instead. The bash goes on. No overgrowth being used, and Mushi suddenly says, I'm in big trouble. Nice two-man Burrow Strike. Mushi now trying to man-fight out of this one, but he cannot man-fight when the entire team focus on him, and when he does not have any backup from his ally, Orange Esport, just on a meltdown right now. Rising Star overrunning the sensation from Malaysia.
Positioning is just so important as Razor, especially against this mass, or he almost always gets Dragon Tails to you, so he's usually stunned for like 3+ seconds every time, and if he doesn't have BKB, he can't just run in there like that. He's going to be caught in a very awkward position and just drop to the AoE. Muji, he gave a first blood, then he went 5-1, and now he's died a little bit too much for the solo mid, and now he doesn't have, he has a scepter, but he doesn't live long enough for his items to be effective.
Yeah, and he's in a stage of the game where he has one piece of the item for the BKB, but he's never going to be able to farm up for another piece of item because he plays a role like a Chaos Knight, like a Lycanthrope, that runs in a lot first, and then is just forced to tank up and then die because you're losing these team fights. And as a result, he will never actually have more room. It looks like the Jungle Queen of Pain has now got herself a Scythe of Ice after getting a casual Ogre Club for HP.
Wow, she is super rich
as
a Jungle Queen of Pain. Third highest net worth.
5-1-12. Look at her score.
Yeah, she is worth more than the Razor at this point. And Razor was off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, so I mean XCD and the rest of Rising Star really taking over this game. And of course, we saw the power of that Abyssal Blade, giving a free bash on the Lifestealer. And more importantly, taking down Ohio before he dropped any spell. And I think if you kill the tree before he drops his Overgrowth, the team fight gets so lopsided that it's not even funny. They really need Overgrowth to lock down Dragon Knight and Lifestealer.
And let's check out what they are going to do now. And take a look at the gold grab, around 7,500 in favor of Rising Stars. Nothing insurmountable. It was relatively even for the first 20 minutes of the game, but Rising Stars just getting on better ganks right now. They're moving around the map a lot better. They don't have like amazing initiate. They didn't have the Scythe of Ice on Queen of Pain for the majority of the game. They didn't have a Shadow Blade on the DK, but just catching Orange out of position a lot. Most notably Mushi over and over.
Yeah, and I think if you're Rising Star now, you just knock down the last tier 2 towers on mid and bot and start setting shot for your high ground push. You have a Lifestealer with the Aegis. You have Queen of Pain to even jump him in if that's what you want to do. So I don't think Rising Star is not a team that over aggressively jumps for kills. Extinct is hiding here on the tree, getting ready to drop a big Epicenter. Rising Star says, don't really care, gonna start working on the towers. Here comes Razor, threatening to get a link off. I think the link broke, and they're gonna maybe get a return kill. You can see Extinct channeling his Epicenter. He's gonna come right in. That's gonna be a 4-man Burrow Strike. Beautiful start in that team fight. Where's the Overgrowth? No Overgrowth just yet. Everybody's on full retreat. Rising Star's gonna get locked down by that Overgrowth, and XE is gonna die. Super in huge trouble. Super's gonna die as well. ky.xy doing all of the damage. Nice defensive disruption. That's gonna dodge the Sonic Wave as well. ky.xy, however, did not get defensively disrupted. He's still gonna be okay thanks to that the invisibility. great play from Orange Esports, winning a huge team fight. We do see the Aegis coming back on. He's going to try to rage TP out of there, and he's not going to make it out of there. Amazing comeback team fight for Orange Esports, and my God.
What a Saiyan King player.
Yeah, seriously.
Extinct. Oh my goodness. Just turning things around for Orange. It looked like they were slipping away. One of their T2s was about to fall, and he just completely turned around with a 4-man epicenter burrow strike.
I mean, is that RisingStars' fault here?
Yeah, I mean, you can't just line up. They were all in a line. They had one hero up here, and they just had 4 in a line afterwards. Like, they have a Saiyan King. He has Blink Dagger. Why are you standing like that? Even on top of that, they have a Treant Protector. He could have just walked in, and perhaps even if he had a Blink Dagger or something like that, he's pretty close to it. He can just overgrowth them, and you can't clump versus these sort of spells.
Yeah, by comparison, in terms of how the previous team fight initiated, remember Saiyan King was initiating in a 1-man position using Epicenter
Right.
Burrow Strike right here, and those team fight went so lopsided for RisingStar. I think the X factor for this game is Extinct. And LD, if you could swap it over to Merlini's cam, because it seems like I'm dropping a couple of frames here and there. So don't miss any kills, Merlini.
Oh, it looks like just farming in the meantime. We have air farming bottom. He has picked up his Heaven's Halberd. Razor has actually finally picked up his BKB after they won that last team fight, and looks like just to be a little bit ancient stacking. Both RisingStars not continuing to push the aggression just because they just got crushed in a push.
Yeah, I think losing a team fight like that is not a sign that RisingStars can't win this game anymore. To me, if they find Extinct and pick him off in the beginning of team fight, Orange doesn't actually have too much damage anymore.
Or if they just gank. They could have just a 2-man gank. They had the Blink Sight device on the Queen of Pain, coupled that with a Life Stealer Bomb. Pretty much anyone except for the Alchemist, I think, will probably die to that, especially with the Abyssal Blade up on the Life Stealer. That is a lot of time spent in the Sheep in a Abyssal.
Yeah, I think now Xiao Gigi working for Assault Curious as well. You do see a Heaven's Halberd from Complete on Dragonite, so that's a ton of that item already being picked up. 5-man nation from RisingStar.
And there is a gem up on the Treant Protector, and I think they probably need to try and secure this next Roshan. So it looks like to be another 5 minutes in the process. And are they going to smoke? They are on the high ground. Yep, there is a 5-man smoke from Orange. They are looking for blood and checking out. I think they're in a position to smoke too. I see one on Rubik. Maybe they'll wait for this ancient stack to clear before they go.
And again, if you're Orange Esports, I don't think you initiate with an offensive Burrow Strike. I think Burrow Strike should be used as a counter initiate tool. They're using the creep wave up top, maybe trying to bait a TP from from RisingStar. And if any single member comes, they are going to get initiated.
Xiao Tuji, I thought he was about to run over here, but wisely deciding to go with his team.
Yeah, even Xiao Chuji get pick off. He did have really good rage dodge, even against Burrow Strike, so let's see if he'd be able to do it. Alright, here we go. BKB already activated on Mushi. Wow, very aggressive here. Spell gonna get stolen here. That's gonna be Acid Spray.
That's a back.
Yeah, I think that's a misclick, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he maybe tried to phase. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, he just picked it up. It was a 10-second one, so a bit of a waste there for Mushi, but wisely deciding to back off. They had one big cooldown already used.
Ooh, Tree picks up a Blink Dagger. That's going to be pretty big. Normally, you don't say Tree pick up Blink Dagger as anything impressive, but against the Dragonite and against the Lifestealer that's relying on physical damage, you got to keep in mind you cannot attack out of an Ogre Growth. They're smoking on the bot, looking for a tier 2. These Razor Illusions think they're scouting things out, but little do they know the entire team is coming. Very safely played under their tier 2 tower is Orange Esports. If this gank fails for RisingStar, they're losing a ton of farm on mid and top. They think better of it, and they will all TP back. Good choice. I don't think that was the time to make the gank, and it seems like Orange Esports was fully aware of the gank anyways.
So neither of these teams have a decent split pushing lineup. Queen of Pain probably the best candidate. Sinking is pretty good.
ky.xy is not bad. Yeah,
ky.xy is not bad either, but it's no Nature Prophet, no Blinking and slamming anti-mage. There's nothing that can really push lanes out, and because of that, just a little bit of passive play from both teams. RisingStars has a slight Roshan advantage simply because of position, but their lead is slipping away. This gold graph just passing over to Meridian, and gold slightly in favor of Orange after favoring RisingStars for the last 20 minutes.
And again, if the game goes longer and longer, ky.xy is going to take over the gold chart. I'm not going to say he's going to spend all of his gold because he is going to get 6-slotted relatively soon, but he will still continue to earn that gold with Grievo's degree plus 30 at the max. And we'll see exactly what RisingStar's game plan is. I think for both teams, they're going to try to ward up and secure the next Roshan.
Yep, and Battle of the Abyssal Blaze, we see one of ky.xy. Not exactly sure when he got it, but Alchemist has a much faster attack speed than Lifestealer if he has his Chemical Rage on. But it is usually down to a matter of luck as to who can win against who in a one-on-one fight.
Well, I really think Xiao Chuji's going to lose that one-on-one fight, simply because Alchemist has better stats when his ultimate is on, and more importantly, he's the one that has a Shadow Demon backup. Shadow Demon defensively disrupt or purges on Xiao Chuji, then he suddenly loses a ton of offensive power, and I think Xiao Chuji's going to have difficulty keeping up against a lot of
Wow, they are just melting the C2 tower, and that will go down very, very fast.
Yeah.
Alchemist picking up a little bit extra gold. 4,800 HP on him.
Who?
Or
On Alchemist?
gold. 4,800 gold.
Oh, I was
rather.
going to say 4,800 HP on Alchemist. That's
Yeah, that
low.
would be ridiculous.
But I really like the way that Orange Esport is trying to siege on these towers. Every time Mushi sees a tower, he just pops his ultimate and just right-click on it. It does actually do a sizable damage to these towers. Of course, Aerostorm does not do minus armor against the tower, but it still does a ton of damage.
Yeah, there are not that many spells that affect towers, and we see already 2 of them in this game with Treant Protector and the Eye of the Storm on Razor.
Well, we're going to see another slow farming phase, ky.xy 5600. I imagine he's going to go for a Butcher Travel right now, or do you think he's going to go for something like a Heart, or maybe even Manta? I feel like Manta's style not too bad against a Lifestealer, against... Actually, RisingStars doesn't have too much lockdown here. Manta is, to me, really exceptional, especially when you want to siege base and...
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have a decent amount of AoE, though. The level 17 Dragon Knight with his Frost Form. They have the Queen of Pain. I think I would personally would like a Butterfly on him.
Okay.
Just more attack speed, and just so he can just like straight up man mode the Lifestealer, no questions asked. And the Dragon Knight, but
we'll see exactly what he's going to go for. Orange Esport, all teams smoked up here. He's going to run into a Sench Ward. It looks like this is a very familiar and a reminiscent smoke gang coming out from Orange Esport. They like to do this large wraparound. Falling a little bit behind. I do believe Rising Star is completely ready for it. Sench Ward being dropped down here. Acid Spray being dropped as well. They are completely ready for Orange
yeah,
Esport.
how do they see that?
I think they just expect it, but a Super is just standing under the Sench Ward. Is he baiting? Is he initiating right now? Here comes Mushi. Misses the Burrow Strike on Extinct. You do not initiate like that. Extinct is going to... Oh, nice defensively disrupt. Where's the Overgrowth? No Overgrowth drop just yet. Maybe thanks to that Acid Spray, but Xiao Tucci in big trouble. He dies. Where's the buyback? Buyback's going to use it. And Air is going to be dead as well. And now the Epicenter comes out of nowhere from Extinct, and that's going to be a huge team wipe. Double buyback coming out from Xiao Tucci as well as Air, but the damage has been done as Orange Esport retains everybody. Nobody even lost any type of HP. Orange Esport will just waltz into the Roshan pit. Extinct might have missed his first Burrow Strike, but the second, my goodness, that
was
beautiful.
such a great initiate by them, though. They had, even with the missed stun, they had such good control. Razor was channeling a static link on the Lifestealer. They got him sheep, so they took him out of the fight. Alchemist was just beating away on people, and then that 3-man Overgrowth into a 3-man Epicenter by the 2 supports is really rounded things off for Orange.
And now Razor picks up a Aegis as if he wasn't annoying enough. Now he has 2 lives to work with. He's got 4k gold in the bank as well. Big item purchase coming up. That's a straight up Butterfly. You said that was the item that allows you to man-mo, allows you to tank everything. Well, that's the item he's got.
Yeah, I love that item on Alchemist. It just synergizes so well with his ultimate, and they don't have any MKBs on RisingStars, especially with them losing these team fights, as well as the recent Hyperstone pickup in the Lifestealer. They're not going to be able to get MKB by the time this game ends if Orange decides to push it now.
Yeah, I mean, Mushi right now is going to pop his ultimate and says, all right, easy tower mode. Not going to go in just yet. Somewhat surprised.
Yep. And it allows for more reliable bashes just because you have absolutely insane attack speed. He does so much damage right now. 400 and what? 10 damage? 408 damage.
On who?
308 damage on the Alchemist. Wow, my math is shaky today. But he has his BKB. RisingStars, what can they really do versus a BKB? Dragon Knight can like attempt to slow them. They don't have enough items on the Dragon Knight. All he has is a Bracer, Heaven's Halberd, and a Power Charge. That's not where you want to be.
I think they just have to wait it out here. As Plasma Field going to get stolen and then used. And I think they're waiting for that Epicenter to come back online, which is back on about 3 or 4 seconds. They're already sieging on that tier 3 tower. And they're trying their best to do something against ky.xy. ky.xy just doesn't care. He's tanking it away. Where's the Epicenter being channeled? Not channeled just yet here. Stun's going to fly her off. And my question is, Extinct, are you channeling, my man? No, they're going to still focus on... He's channeling right now, defensive disrupt. And here comes the Sanking. It's not going to hit too much with the Burrow Strike, but the Epicenter's on top of everybody. Xiaotuji already dead. He has no buyback. XCD's going to be dead as well. Air getting focused in right next. Double BKB gets pop here. Air down to about half, down to about quarter. He's going to get Burrow. He's going to get stunned, and the right click will begin to commence. ky.xy in big trouble. They will bring down ky.xy. And Mushi also dies, but it doesn't matter. They call it GG as they have lost that team fight quite handily. Raxar has already gone down.
Yep, nice play by Orange. This free pick just really messed with RisingStars, giving Razor a lot of free room in the early game to just make mistakes, which is like out of position mistakes, just play super aggressively on the life stealer, and the overgrowth is really messing with him during the BKB and the rage too. As soon as you pop rage, sure, just overgrowth, he's useless for another 5 seconds, and then you can just sheep him, stun him, do whatever with him after the rage. So I think overall fantastic pick and draft by Orange. I don't think that Mushi's Razor was the strongest. It seemed like decent early game, but in the 15 to 30 minute phase, he just got picked off quite a few times and died before he was able to make a huge difference in the team fights.
I actually don't think it was the Razor or the Tree. I think Tree played okay, but he was just dropping.
Do you think it was the Alchemist?
No,
Same
it was
team?
the Sanking.
Sanking was
Remember,
pretty good.
they were actually losing. Orange was losing pretty badly until that one Epicenter on 5 people with 4 Burrow Strike on top. That was what turned it around when Extinct. After that was just hitting amazing Burrow Strike Epicenters. And he was doing it against Stolen and Alchemist Acid Spray. He was doing it against double BKB on the Dragonite and Lifestealer. So
yeah, fantastic play by the supports from Orange. We saw Net with a little bit shaky disrupts earlier, but really pulling through with him later in the game, just completely taking out a lot of the single target focus. They have a Dragonite, and they have the Lifestealer, a lot of single target damage there with the Dragon Tail, and just right click from Nakes. And Nakes, even though he got a decent amount of farm and did a lot of work in the first 20 minutes, unable to pull through versus this lineup from Orange.
yeah, I seen him actually disrupt a couple of times when the Sonic Wave was flying in the air. Like, those are not hard to actually pull off. But again, Extinct and Net, just common storyline for Orange Esports, just playing really well as big playmaker supports, and that's why for the Alien World Cup, at least BTS Studio has gave them 10 out of 10 on the supporting duo compared to all of the other professional
Yeah, they just
teams.
move around a lot. They get a lot more done as supports. You rarely see them just like sitting there doing nothing. They're always doing something. They're always there warding, counter ganking, stacking, checking runes, just doing everything a support should do and not getting picked off very often.
Yep. Well, that's going to be game number 1 here for Orange Esports versus RisingStar. This is a best of 3 series. Loser goes home, and winner moves on. Of course, winner of this entire tournament will get $16,300, and more importantly, getting to play in the ultimate grand final somewhere down the road. We don't know the dates. We don't know the money for that, but it's going to happen sometimes. But yeah, that's game 1. Game 2 is coming up next. Don't go anywhere, guys. He's Merlini. I'm Luminous. We're signing off.